Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how to soundproof this room. Here we are in a 3-bed semi-detached house and our homeowners here are suffering from noise from neighbours. The neighbours next door, the other side of this separating party wall, they have renovated. They've created a lot of open plan living, a lot of hard surfaces, new kitchen diner extension, and therefore it's made the noise in our homeowner's house here, the other side of this separating party wall in this 3-bed semi-detached house, it's made the noise unbearable in this room. The type of noises they are hearing, they're hearing conversation, especially like a muffled noise when they have a gathering of people next door. They're hearing music, TV, and a lot of clonking around coming from the neighbour's property, clonking on the work surfaces, coming through the separating party wall. So if you're a DIY builder looking to soundproof your own home or maybe a client's home, this video is going to show you some useful tips on how you might take on this type of noise problem. We're going to use the 4-step soundproofing method to soundproof this room. So first of all, step number 1 in the 4-step soundproofing method is to address the main cause of the problem. And we're not talking about the neighbours next door making noise. There is things in your property that is making the noise worse, or it doesn't matter what soundproofing you do, unless you address the main cause of the problem, then the noise will still come through. And for this particular property, there is 2 different types of main causes. The first one is a suspended floor void, which we're going to open up and check for holes in the structure. And the second main cause is this archway wall. So I got the homeowner to put their ear here on this archway wall and listen, finger in the ear on the wall, listen what type of noises they're hearing down this flanking archway wall. Remember, this is a separating party wall. And they could hear the noise on this archway wall. It was pretty much the same as it was on this alcove, which is the party wall. So I'm going to open up that archway and show you what we found later on in the video. Okay, so let's get stuck into how to soundproof this room. First of all, we're going to open up the floor and we're going to open up the ceiling. Now, some of you might have concrete floors. For this particular property, it has a suspended floor void. To tell whether you have a suspended floor void, just tap on the floor. If it's a bit of a drum, that would signal a suspended floor void. Or one thing you can do is go outside and check if you have vents at the front of the property like this. If you have ventilation like that, that would signal some sort of suspended floor void, and it's very important that those vents remain clear and the suspended floor has plenty of airflow. One of the main reasons we open up the suspended floor void is to check for holes in the structure. It's very important to open up the suspended floor void because that area beneath the floor is still the direct noise path. So you see where my cursor is here, that's the original skirting line. That's where we've removed the skirting. So all of that area here, that is still the direct noise path. And that's almost a metre square left untreated if you didn't open up the floor. And that's the same for the ceiling too. We always cut open the ceiling, check for those holes in the structure and tuck the system up. So that's the first main cause. The second main cause is the archway wall. Remember, it had this archway which is perpendicular to the separating party wall. Where we open up that archway, make it a bit more square, let a bit more light in, and it uncovered a big hollow void. And this is something that you can test in your own home. If you have an archway wall, maybe an RSJ above where you've created that open plan living, you maybe put your ear on the brick piers that stick out, finger in the ear on the wall, and listen. What do you hear on that perpendicular wall? Because if you have an RSJ and a wall perpendicular to the separating party wall, it's highly likely you will hear your neighbours on that wall. For this particular homeowner, the noise was just as loud here on this archway wall as it was on the alcove. And one thing I said at the beginning is they were hearing a lot of muffled noise, and that signals sound resonating in a hollow void. So if you're hearing more of a muffled noise from the neighbours next door, maybe check your house for those hollow voids. You could have a hollow stud wall perpendicular, you could have a hollow RSJ perpendicular to the separating party wall, maybe a hollow floor void like we have here, a hollow suspended floor void, or maybe even just a hollow ceiling void. Hollow voids perpendicular to any separating party wall are a main cause. It means it doesn't matter what soundproofing you do, doesn't matter how singing or dancing the wall system that you put on the direct noise path, which we're going to show you later, it doesn't matter how effective that is, the noise would still come through if you don't address step number 1 in the 4-step soundproofing method, the main cause of the problem. Now we've found the main causes of the problem, we're going to start applying the sound insulation. And here you can see we've started applying a 20mm rubber. And this sound dampens the wall. You might have seen this from my other videos. Your wall is resonating like a ringing drum cymbal, especially if you're hearing a lot of noise from the neighbours. And how do you sound dampen a ringing drum cymbal? You put your hand on it. So here we've applied a 20mm rubber which sound deadens the wall. And this technique just gives you a massive reduction in noise compared to if you just put a stud wall with rock wool. And one thing it does, the key thing that it does, it reduces the noise channeling to those hollow voids. So if you were not going to pull open the floor, cut open the ceiling, address the chimney stack or the flanking archway wall, for example, you should really sound dampen the wall, because otherwise you're going to be channeling the noise into those hollow voids. So overall the noise will feel different. It will feel like you've given some reduction in noise to the direct noise path, but you would have potentially made the noise louder in other rooms. This 20mm rubber is available all over the world. It's a similar product to what you use under the gym floors, and it's a product that we use under industrial machinery to stop that vibration getting into the rest of the structure. It also happens to be the most anti-damp, anti-mold product out there, so we can tuck it all the way down, creating a complete airtight seal on your wall. So next we'd install a floating frame, and because of the clonks and clangs, the low frequency noise, they have a particular male's voice the other side of the separating party wall, creating a deep low frequency noise coming through. So therefore we're going for a floating frame system, a frame isolated from the ceiling, wall and floor, and that's going to go in the alcoves, and there's going to be a 50mm 2-inch system around the chimney stack, and that's what we're going to apply to the direct noise path. And here you can see we're onto the next layers of the floating frame here, tucking those layers down, tucking those layers up. If you want to see videos with a bit more detail of how we build the floating frame, then subscribe to the channel and maybe look for the 7 ways to soundproof a wall, or maybe look at DIY soundproofing step-by-step video, and that goes into a bit more detail of how we install the floating frame. And if you really want to learn exactly how to do these wall systems step by step, please check the description for our online education courses, which show DIYers and builders step by step how to install soundproofing in the most cost effective way. Apparently some of those courses have saved homeowners thousands of pounds in soundproofing, because big insight guys, a lot of these materials are available from your local builders merchants. So that's what we're doing to the direct noise path, and you'll see the layers build up as we go through this video. Next, we're going to start taking on some of the indirect noise paths, and I mentioned this archway wall. What we're going to do here is we're going to install a 50mm system to this archway wall, because this is a flanking area. What we install to this archway wall is a 50mm system, and it offers 80% on the flanking noise transmitting through this archway wall. If you're hearing doors banging and a lot of structural borne noises on the flanking areas, the archway wall, the window wall, those type of areas where you're hearing doors banging and structural borne noises, then the 50mm system is just the best system for that. It offers 80% reduction on those flanking noises. If you want to learn exactly how to install the 50mm system, then you want the Soundproofing Secrets course, which is in the description down below, and it's on offer at the moment. So we've installed a 175mm system to the alcoves, and a 50mm system to the chimney stack, and a 50mm system to that archway, where the homeowner was saying the noise is the same on that archway as they were the alcove. Different type of noise on the flanking, because it's a flanking structural borne noise and noise transmitting through the structure rather than coming through directly. We use a 50mm system there and a 175mm system there. You can see we've opened up the ceiling earlier. We're going to insulate that ceiling now to reduce the noise coming over, and we're going to board over that ceiling with a 15mm sound block board. Insulating the ceiling with 200mm of rock wool, and normally we come back up at 120mm, and that's just because of the size of the rock wall slabs. But sometimes some homeowners want us to soundproof the whole of the bedroom floor. It is better to do the whole of the bedroom floor, but it depends on what your noise problem is. If room to room transfer of noise, if you want to listen to the TV in this room and not bother maybe kids sleeping upstairs, then it would be better to take that opportunity to install rock wool to the entire bedroom floor whilst you've got the ceiling open. See, we've patched up the original ceiling, and then we're going to board over the entire ceiling. So if you're hearing a lot of noise diagonally, so if this is a separating party wall, and you know that your neighbours are clonking around and making noise in that bedroom diagonally above here, then you may want to consider installing 2 layers of board to the ceiling to reduce that flanking noise coming over, or maybe even consider using resilient bars to the ceiling before installing 2 layers of 15mm soundblock board. So our indirect noise paths here are the archway wall, the section of the window wall. We've insulated the ceiling back from the conflicting party wall, and we've boarded over the ceiling with a soundblock board, reflecting the homeowner's noise back in there and stopping the noise coming over. We've also insulated the suspended floor void and tucked the system all the way down. Also tucked the direct noise path all the way up, as you saw at the beginning of the video. So on to step number 4 now, the fixtures and fittings. Fixtures and fittings are such a key area of any soundproofing project because they make up lots of little areas where the noise can get through. And when you have lots of little areas where the noise can get in, that makes up a big area. So it's very important to carry out step number 4 in the 4-step soundproofing method. And here we've got to consider the TV on the wall, we've got to consider the sockets, isolating the floorboards from the wall that we've just soundproofed. We're going to isolate the skirting from the suspended floor void, and then we're also going to consider the finished floor as well. So our homeowner here is having new carpet. That's going to be a featured wall. You can see we've put the TV on the wall, and we've put the technology in the wall to support the brackets of the TV, which we show you how to do in the noise-free DIY soundproofing course. The homeowners weren't too sure on what fire design to go for yet, so the gas is capped beneath the suspended floor void along with electrical as well. So if they make the decision to go for electrical or gas in the future, we've got the options down there in the suspended floor void if we choose. So what is that overall soundproofing result? Well, I spoke to the homeowners, and the neighbours are still away on holiday. We're on the 18th of January now, and the homeowners have still not heard anything from the neighbours. So apparently the neighbours are still away on holiday. If you're a DIY builder looking to soundproof your own home or maybe clients' homes, the first step is to get yourself a free copy of the Noise-Free Home. The link is in the description down below. It's not a textbook, it's not a how-to guide, but it'll certainly help you understand the 4-step soundproofing method and all the different ways which noise can get into your home. Rather sieving through loads of YouTube videos, why not learn from professional award-winning soundproofing installers on how to install all of these soundproofing products. We show you in the online courses step by step how to install the different layers of materials, how to tuck it up, how to tuck it down, as well as treating all the different other noise paths in your home. If you're a DIY builder, the course will save you thousands of pounds. It will give you a transformational reduction in noise in your home. It's directionally correct, taught to you by award-winning soundproof installers, filmed in residential, semi-detached and terrace properties. There's no doubt you will see your house on the course. If that sounds great, click the link and join the waiting list for the noise-free DIY soundproofing course. I'll see you guys on the next video.